Uh, yeah. So, hi everyone. My name is Tracy Cox. A lot of you guys already know me here on the phone call this morning, but I'm so glad that you're here to join us to learn a little bit more about Tondeo. We have Sebastian and Peter who are on the call too, who are live from Germany. I don't know who wants to go first and introduce themselves, but I know
Yeah,
Sebastian's doing the
I
people
think
intro.
you're
I
always
think,
first.
yeah, I will start and only need 2 minutes. Good morning to everybody, or good evening from Germany. My name is Peter. I'm the managing director of the company. I think the main guy in the meeting will be Sebastian. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, hi everybody. Sebastian, I'm the international sales director for Jaguar, Tondeo, and TCC. Um, among other countries, responsible for the US market. And yeah, very excited to have you everybody here. So many from so many different parts of the USA, from so many different industries. So yeah, I'm really excited. Um, I'm afraid that in the time that we have, I cannot go that much into detail like I would love to. But I'm doing my best to give you an overview. And for sure, that's not going to be the last time that we meet. So we're going to go more into details when we go live.
Perfect. Well, take it away, Sebastian, and let us
All
know
right.
all the good stuff about Tondeo and Jaguar and TCC.
Okay. I'm gonna start. Hopefully, I'm gonna start the presentation. I'm gonna share my screen. Dun, dun, dun. So everybody right now should see "Welcome to Solingen." Is that correct? Perfect. All right. Um, yeah, United Salon Technologies, UST, as Tracy always says, um, is come on, is basically the joint of Tondeo, Solingen, and Jaguar. Two companies, which have always been based in Solingen, a couple of kilometers away from each other. In 2010, merged into the United Salon Technologies. So we literally took the best of both brands and put it into one company. That's why United Salon, because the only thing we do is producing professional tools for professional hairdresser. We don't do anything for the mass market. We don't do anything for the retails. We are professionals working for professionals. Technologies, of course, our scissors are not just a result of accident. Yeah, they are 100, almost 100 years of technological development in all directions, and we do this worldwide. Some key facts on the company. Uh, we are for you important. We are distributing in more than 80 countries all over the world, um, working on approximately 180 people, from whereas 70 are in the administrative part and roughly 110 in production, um, with a maximum production capacity of 2,000 pairs of scissors in a day. Um, Made in Solingen. Just one word to the city of Solingen. Solingen has considered to be the world capital of blade production since the 12th, 13th century. So Solingen has a very special exposed position geographically and historically in Germany, where all the knowledge was kept, and blade production, knives, scissors, swords, uh, always came from Solingen when they had been the best in the world. And that's where this made in Solingen comes from. We have made in Germany as a legal term, and we have made in Solingen, which is not a marketing term, which is in the same way a legal term like made in Germany. Um, yeah, let's give a quick rush through different steel technologies. I will go a little bit more into detail. Just two of our perfect uh, steels that we have. Damast steel. I think I don't need to tell anybody what Damast steel means. Damast steel is produced by heating it up, folding it, pressing it under high pressure, heating again, folding again, up to 120 layers of folded steel. Yeah. Uh, Beside from this beautiful structure that it gives, it is an extremely hard steel, but still by the folding gives us the perfect flexibility to create very, very small cutting angles and razor sharp scissors from it. The other end of the way is the so-called powder steel, which is literally a steel powder heated up, brought into shape, and in the atomic structure of the steel, this powder steel is way different. You will see this a little bit later, how the exact difference between regular steel and powder steel is. But for you, important to know that the atomic structure of this steel allows us, again, to use a very hard but flexible steel. And the combination of being hard and being flexible is exactly what we need for the shear production. Some kind of the different steel types we have in our company for Tondeo and for Jaguar. So I mixed two presentations, so please excuse the two different designs. So we got a vanadium steel, which is basically a vanadium cobalt compound steel, which is used in the Tondeo shears mostly, in the Centaur line, if you know the shears already, also in the Mythos and in the Supra line. The powder steel, what I just mentioned, is one of the steels that we use on the one side in Tondeo in the pure inspiration, and on the Jaguar side we use it's called microcarbide steel, which is a little bit different from the powder steel that we use in Tondeo, but it's both powder compound steel. Neolog steel is, Peter, that is something that you probably can explain a little bit better. Neolog steel is invention from Solingen, if I'm not mistaken.
In Germany.
Oh, okay, basically, okay. In Germany, it contains neob and all this, and this neob compound steel allows us to go very thin. Yeah, the smaller the cutting angle on the cutting edge is, the more likely is it that the cutting edge will break. So if we want to create extremely small cutting angles, but still want to have sharp scissors for 10, 15 years, you need to have a steel which allows that, which is, again, the right mixture of hardness and sustainability. Damast steel, I already explained a little bit. Tracy, yeah?
Can I jump in for a second? So for the Nylox steel, that is with
Yeah.
the new shears that are coming out, which is the Garrett.
Exactly. That's for, I will go through the different models. That's for the Gera, for the Stylist, and also for the very new Skinny Tara. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, I was gonna say I think Lisi's the only one who's tried the Gera so far.
Mm-hmm.
And
So
Jessica has one actually.
these are the scissors which we highly recommend for slicing techniques, because they are literally a razor. We had hairdressers who said, "Whoa, that's not for beginners. That's a weapon." And yeah, that's true. So going a little bit into the process of how we produce the shears. At the beginning of all is the process of forging the banks. So we get the raw steel material. And now my presentation should go on. Here we go. So basically, it's classic forging. Yeah, the steel is heated up, and then the heated steel itself is under a sledgehammer, brought into shape, cooled down, and then the scissor bank is stamped out from the raw bank. After we have the blank, the scissors are heat treated which basically means they are hardened. Yeah, which is one of the most important steps in all the production. Um, it has to be hardened in order to make the steel usable for us. I don't go into the deepest details of how the process works, but there are different processes of heating. It's ice hardening, it's vacuum hardening, it's classic hardening on around 1,100 degrees. But that should not be so important right now. And after that, the scissors are classically brought into their original shape. First of all, the hollow side is grinded inside. After that, we do the so-called cutting edge. After that, the scissors are assembled. They are sharpened. They get, if they need it, they get their micro serration. The tip is rounded. They are sharpened. They are straightened again. So in altogether, approximately a little bit more than 120 steps, partly machine work, partly still as today handcraft. They are turned from a piece of metal into a scissor. Coming especially to Tondeo. Tondeo is still, as of now, the only scissor producing company in the whole world who is not forging the banks. Jaguar is doing that on a very high level, but they are still forged. Tondeo is using CNC grinding machines to mill the scissor out of a single lump of steel. So without heat, at least without this extreme heat, and with extreme high precision. And extreme high precision is necessary to have a perfect adjustment of the both scissor blanks onto each other. The higher the precision in the beginning is, the lower the closing force and the sharpness of the scissor in the end will be. So coming a little bit to the different shear types. We do have the classic shear as the Satin here, the first one that you all know. The basic of that is that the fingerings are exactly parallel to each other, and the stopper is right away in the middle. The offset handle means that the thumb ring is a little bit shortened, and by that you have a little bit more ergonomic position on your shoulder while cutting. But still, if you have a straight line through the tip of the scissor, through the screw, this line, if you make it longer, it will still end up in the stopper between thumb and finger ring. And we have the third variation. It's called crane. It's also an offset handle with a shortened thumb ring, but much more shortened. And if you now think of a straight line from the tip through the shear, you don't end up in the stopper, you end up in the finger ring. What's that used for? So when you are pointing with your scissor, and you have a classic scissor, your shoulder will be somewhere up here to work on it. If you go with a ergonomic scissor with an offset handle, the shoulder comes more down. If you go with an offset scissor, the shoulder comes even more down. So the more ergonomic the scissors are that you work with, the better it is for your shoulder, the healthier the working position is, the more effective you work. Of course, we have especially in Jaguar, in Tondeo, we also have a few, but especially in Jaguar, we have a very wide range of left-hand scissors. I know that in the US we have a quite high percentage of lefties, if I'm not mistaken. So why is a left-hand scissor so important? I'm going to show that. When you open and close the scissor, the natural thing that your thumb does when you close the scissor is pushing in that direction. So now when you use a right hand scissor in the right hand, you close the scissor, you push the thumb in your away from you, and by pushing the thumb, you push this blade against this blade. The scissor cuts. If I now take a right hand scissor into the left hand, and again, the natural thing that my thumb wants to do is pushing. So with the same scissor, I push this blade away from this blade. So the scissor won't cut. So what I have to do as a lefty to use a right-hand scissor is constantly pull. Yeah. And you can imagine that this position, what my thumb has right now, is after 5 hours working, not very comfortable. If you now have a left-hand scissor, give me a second. If you now have a left-hand scissor, the banks are switched. So now I have the left-hand scissor in the left hand. My thumb can push again like it wants naturally. And still, this bank, this upper bank is pushing against the lower one and it's cutting. That's basically why we produce left-hand scissors. Yeah, this is one of my favorites. So if you buy we call it economical scissor, yeah, something which has not a very good price quality ratio. Then you have an average effort per closing of 240 gram, always calculated with hair in between. If you have a high quality scissor, you have 140 grams. So for one time, open and close, one time, you save 100 gram. You might not feel this from one time closing, but now calculate it up. In one client, you usually open and close the scissor 700 times. 10 clients in a day, 5 days in a week, and we calculate this. So with a high quality scissor, you save up to 150 tons what you push with your thumb. That's why we choose this picture. That's like take every year you go to the beach and take a blue whale and push him back to the sea with your thumb. That's exactly what you save in 1 year. And that's all the hairdressers that you see after 5, 10 years of working with this medical assistance around their wrists, yeah, carpal tunnel problems, and all this, bullshit, leads to non-quality scissors. Simple as it is. Yeah? Of course, we have different possibilities of coating our scissors. That reveals to both brands. Yeah, we have the classic painting. We can paint scissors in all imaginable colors. We can foil scissors in all imaginable patterns. That's why we chose this first one here. And we can do a Titan coating on the scissors in different colors. We are a little bit limited in the colors in the Titan coating, but basically we have a quite big variety of colors that we can offer to our clients. Why can that be important? First of all, you might have clients who want to have a very individual scissor. Yeah, if you're speaking, especially as distributor or especially as salesperson, if you speak with companies who want to say, all right, I want to have my own shear, but I want to have it, I don't know, pink with blue spots on it. All right, go for it. We can foil it pink with blue spots on it if you like. Or if you have people who say, okay, I'm specialized on people who are very sensitive, probably even allergic on nickel. Our steel is 100% nickel free. And nickel free is in this case not meant nickel free by law, which in Germany would mean less than 0.5%. Our last REACH test clearly said no signs of nickel detectable, which means really nickel free. But still, we have these people who are a little bit afraid, oh, there might be a little rest of nickel in it. For those people, you can give the colored shears, you can give the Titan coated shears because you can be 100% sure, because you can be 100% sure that they don't get in any contact with any nickel. Given a short overview through the Jaguar brand, it's divided in lines. We have at the price bottom, we got the pre-style, which is basically our students line. We got the white line. Within the white line, we do have the Jaguar, which is always colored, more collectible than a tool. Then we have the silver line, the gold line, where the Cameo is based, and we got the black line. Short explanation on that. The pre-style is basically with a fairly simple but effective grinding operation. They are partly micro-serrated because for students it might be easier to learn when they don't push the hair. So then the white line still has the same cutting edge, a put-on cutting edge, same like the pre-style, with a different screw system. In the silver line, we go into a so-called semi-integrated blade where the cutting edge becomes smaller and more invisible. Good for slicing, but also good, like good all-rounding scissors. In the gold line, we already have the fully integrated blade, perfectly for slicing, razor sharp, but it's a little bit, it's not a shear for a beginner. And the black line is the top of what we have in the Jaguar line, extremely long-lasting, extremely sharp, microcarbide steel, and just a weapon to work with. Yeah, just some different features that we have. We have the standard scissors. We have the in one scissor we have a rotating finger rest, a fingering. Why do we have that? Because you are very often using this. Yeah, when you open and close it, your thumb inside here moves, and if the finger insert moves with your thumb, you don't get bruises on your thumb. We got the movable thumb ring. That's basically what you call the swivel. We were those who invented the movable thumb ring. It's not a complete free moving swivel like you have it. We have, going to show you. Here we go. That's basically, where are we here? That's basically our movable thumb ring. The effect is just that your thumb does not go so deep under your hand. When you have a classic scissor and you close it, your thumb is pretty far under your hand. If you have a swivel or a movable thumb ring, because you can turn the thumb ring, your thumb stays more or less in one line with your hand, which is again more ergonomic, more healthy working. Yeah, different screw system that might not be so important right now. Just want to explore the highest line in both brands. So the Jaguar is definitely the black line, in a price segment between 450 and 500, which is now 500 now. Let's say 600. Meanwhile, sizes between 525 and with the Giant now 6.5. That's our size range that we have in the black line. Yeah, the technical features I explained already completely, and a little bit about microcarbide steel. That's what I just said before. When you see the lower pictures, yeah, under electron microscope, you have conventional steel on the left side. After using, this is still sharp or good. Yeah, it still cuts hair. It's just an extremely, it's an extreme zoom, of course. But on the right side, you see the microcarbide steel after the same amount of usage. So that's what I mean with the atomic structure is way more stable and it's way more persistent than conventional steel is. So this difference is pretty nice to see. Then we do have the Tondeo product range. I will just roughly go through the different Yeah, we don't have lines in Tondeo, but through the different families. Let's call it families. Yeah, we have the Zentao, which is here the representative for our perfect all-rounders, like the Supra, like the Mythos, like Zentao. They belong to our all-rounders. Yeah, you can slice with them, you can point cut with them. They are really for the hairdresser who cannot decide what he does the most. Yeah, if you have like somebody who's doing 90% slice cutting techniques, okay, go for Gera. If you have somebody who's doing 90% man's cut, okay, go for a Thor Damast or go for an Earl. Yeah. But if you have somebody who says, okay, yeah, I got 25% slicing techniques, but I also point a lot. I cut a lot of bobs and I also do some man clients. Yeah. Go for the Centaur, go for the Mythos, go for the Supra, because these are the perfect all-rounders. And here we talk about a closing force of only 25 grams. Yeah, you just had the comparison like with the non-economical shear, with the economical shears, low quality, 240 gram, we have less than 10% here. The Gera, a weapon. Literally a weapon. Lisi, you said you use that shear already. So I hope you like it. It's ridiculously sharp. It's
Yeah, it slices like butter. You don't
yeah.
even feel the scissor.
That is one of these shears you can slice even without closing it. Yeah, you just leave it open and you go through the hair. We just had a hairdresser here today. He had a very interesting technique of slicing. He had the scissor. I don't know. I try to, yeah, I think it was somewhat like that. And he just took the hair and moved the scissor just up and down. And it sliced absolutely perfectly. So he created a short bob from one of our mannequin hats. And I was like, okay, that's nice. And he also did that with a Gera. For Damast, yeah, you will not find a better and sharper scissor on the market. We are producing, and that's something we are really proud of, we are producing the only full Damast scissor in the whole industry. Yeah, Casio has a Damast scissor. Yeah, Mitsutani has a Damast scissor. Yeah, probably also Hanzo has a Damast scissor with the blades. The handles are all dwelled on the blades. There is no one piece Damast scissor on the market. Why is that important? Yeah, you could say, for what I need Damast steel in the handles. Basically, one of the most important things that you have is a perfect scissor balance. And you cannot reach a perfect scissor balance with two different materials. So what will happen when you have a material mix? Either it falls to the front or it flips to the back. What does that make in hair cutting? If I have a scissor which is constantly too heavy in the front, you always have to lift it. So there is a lot of pressure on your small finger because you always have to work against that weight falling down. If you have a scissor which is constantly falling to the back because it's too heavy on the handles, your thumb has constantly to correct the position of the scissor. And you're working with your thumb all the time. Yeah. So your thumb has two jobs. First of all, doing all the work, and second, doing the correction of the positioning. Two things we have as well as in the Gera, as also in the Thor Damast, and also in some other scissors. I just took these two examples. Our Our screw system is ball bearing. So it's not just a simple screw. It's a screw system with ball bearing. So meaning that even more reduces the effort to close the scissor. And although the scissor is really perfectly adjusted, as you see, it does not close completely. It's so smooth, it doesn't give you any resistance. And that's the same in the Thor than in the Gera and also in the new Scimitar. That's probably one of the easiest examples that you can have. Yeah. Um, so that was just a very rough walkthrough. Our presentations. So I'd be happy to go into questions, because some of you will be for sure more focused on what makes the steel so special. Others will be for sure more focused on what makes the cutting techniques or the grinding techniques so special. So please just shout out your questions and I'll do my best to answer them.
So, in the comments, Shonda asked, "Does the Jaguar line have a 5-year sharpening guarantee as well as the Tondeo one?" So we always say you can get up to like 5 years, keep your
Yeah,
Tondeo sharpened for 5 years.
yeah. In the higher lines, we do have that. Gold line upwards, we do have that.
Yeah, as long and that is it's not a guarantee that it's going to be 5 years because people have to take care of their shears too. So that's always the key point to say when people we can't just blanket say 5 years, we can say up to. It's kind of like when you're doing levels of lift, up to a level 9 when you're using the proper, developer
Of
time.
course, yeah, of course. Yeah, always considering that people treat their scissors correctly. Don't drop them. Don't cut your clients' ears. They cut meat, but it's not good for the shears. And give them a drop of oil here and then, and please clean them in the evening. Yeah, of course they cannot work properly when you have a bunch of hair in it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for that. Her favorites are the Zentaos. And
Uh-huh.
Shonda's also been a big fan of our razor blades too. Do you
Mhm.
want to touch on razors super fast? And then also, let's talk about TCC
Yeah.
because TCC, people love it. They're intrigued with
Mhm.
it in the United States. We haven't launched it, like there hasn't been people purchasing it. For anybody who's on here who wants to know too, it is available for co-branding. So if you have a company that you work with and you're like, oh my goodness, let's be the exclusive, let's have this as just our thing. Like, you can talk to myself about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But also people have asked about the sharpening of TCC. And then
Mhm.
Sebastian does a lot of work with TCC around the world, the
Oh
Ukraine,
yeah.
Russia, like everywhere. Like the fact that the United States is so slow to even like pick it up, like, but the Ukraine, I mean, they're buying scissors left and right from Jaguar and Tondeo and Russia and
Mhm.
every place else. It's like, all right, let's get this train a rolling.
Mhm. Yeah. The TCC. To get some words on the TCC. Yeah, of course we are talking about a scissor. Yeah, of course we're talking about a haircut, but we are talking about way more. First of all, it is a kind of a beauty treatment for the hair. And second, for the salon, it is the only tool which is not like a way to earn money, but it's a tool that actively makes you earn more money. Let me explain why. The hair in its structure is basically a tube. Yeah, you have nutrients inside. These nutrients provide the hair with everything what they need, what it needs to look shiny and healthy. If you now cut hair, what happens? You open this tube and the nutrients in the lowest part of the hair run out. The consequence, in many cases, split ends. So now just imagine you take in a hot scissor. What you do, you cut, and in the same moment that you cut, you seal the end of the hair what you just cut. So you prevent the hair from losing all its nutrients. So the consequence is no split ends anymore. That's the first thing. The second thing is we have a so-called technique, which is so-called dust cutting. I'm gonna show you that one. Okay, so I hope you can see the not started movie yet, correct? Ah, no, wait. Right now you should be able to see it. You see? Okay, perfect. So what he's doing right here is the so-called dust cutting. So I just stop it here on that position. Um, what has he done right now on that moment? With the sharpness of the blade and the correct angle that he uses, it's like a 45-degree angle to the hair pass that he just worked on. He removed all the outer influences from the hair, like silicone rests from shampoo, dead cells, and whatever you have on your hair. The second thing that he's doing, he is using the heated blade. So you have natural keratin inside your hair. What he's doing in this moment is liquefying the keratin, what you naturally do have in your hair. And by liquefying it in that moment, it evenly distributes from root to tip. That is basically the same what happens when you do a keratin treatment, but without extreme heat and without chemicals. Because usually, if you have these keratin treatments, what you do in the cosmetic salons or whatever, they work chemicals inside your hair, and they use a straightener which has, I don't know, 210, 230 degrees, and work it in the hair. But for what? You have natural keratin inside your hair. You just need to liquefy it in order to distribute it beautifully. And the direct effect that you have from it is this is how your hair looks after that. And it looks directly after that. It's not like, okay, wait a month or something like this. It's directly after that.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing how the TCC works. And maybe if Cheetah, if you're still on and you want to give another like example of how you use it in your salon, just so other stylists that are on here can hear, that would be great.
Sorry? Sorry?
Oh, I was gonna say if Cheetah is still on and she wants to say, I don't know
Ah,
if she's still on or not. Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I'm here. Um, yeah, I've used it to take off to do the dusting technique.
yeah.
And um it's almost like you've given your client a glossing service as well because the shine. And they were really surprised that just, from their outlook, it's a pair of heated scissors, and so
Mhm.
they're really intrigued by the technology, and I feel like it's a really good upsell to have, and can set you apart, like in your city, in your community, as far as like you're the salon, you're the stylist that has this technology that nobody else has. Um, and I've also used it to cut hair. I was
Mhm.
kind of concerned at first because I was like, what about point cutting, using them? I was just doing just straight cutting, but I've used it for point cutting and it was fine.
It is. Absolutely. Yeah. It is absolutely fine for point cutting.
Yeah.
So people in Europe, they usually take up to 20% extra on the regular haircut or on the split ends cutting, compared to a regular scissor. So that's what I mean with they earn actively money with that scissor. For the dust cutting in Europe, they take, depending on where in Europe, between 150 and 250 euro just for that treatment. Yeah, it takes you a while. I don't know, Cheetah, how long you work on a full dust cutting?
It didn't take me that long. It didn't, um, I mean, it takes about 45 minutes.
Hmm. Okay. Um, so we do have clients who work up to 2 hours on a full dust cutting. Um, but it's a lot hair. It's very long hair. It always depends a little bit on the hair length, of course. So they earn a huge money with it, and that's also cool. I don't know exactly how the salons in the US are arranged. Let me give you an example of Eastern Europe. Usually in Eastern Europe, you go to a beauty salon for getting a beauty treatment on your hair, like a keratin treatment or whatever. And you go to a colorist to color your hair, and you go to a hairdresser to cut your hair. So let's take out this coloring of the example, but you can have all the clients that used to go to a beauty salon for a hair beauty treatment, you get in your salon. Or if you get a haircut, they don't need to go somewhere else. So you even make your target group much bigger than it is right now. I got one more nice example.
Yeah, I was gonna say a lot of our stylists in the United States do it all. Like Cheetah does it all. Like she does it all. Like there's a few
Uh-huh.
salons that are still departmentalized where you cut on one side, like a bigger salons do that, but not always the case. A lot of people are independent, so they do
Hmm.
everything. So it's a really great addition. I
Hmm.
have one girl in Santa Barbara who has the TCC, and she's not upcharging her clients for it. She figures it's an investment in her tool and her clients that are coming back to her, and she's seen a difference in the hair and the hair structure of that client. Um,
Hmm.
and we have a third party testing too that says like after like the third haircut, like there's 20% more volume in the hair and the hair's just
Yeah.
in better condition, because by the time you've done a third haircut on somebody with the TCCs, you've pretty much cut every hair on their head with it
Yeah.
at that point
Yeah.
in time too.
So this is kind of a nice example for before and after.
Oh wait, now we can't see your screen.
All right,
Did I
sorry.
do something with the pin? Oh,
Uh,
oh, here we go. I got it.
okay. Now I just stopped it. I want to redo. All right.
Maybe
Give
not.
me a second.
Hold on.
Here we go. Everybody can see?
Yeah.
Perfect. So that's some kind of a nice before and after effect. Um, we took fresh washed hair, yeah, that you don't say, okay, the 2 weeks not hair washed or something like that. No, we did it in fresh washed hair, blow dry. So that's how the hair looked before. Now of course, we didn't show the full treatment because it was an Instagram post, but yeah, in the end, that was the final result.
Yeah. And so Shonda also asked, does this help prevent frizz and is this the future to
Yeah,
keratin?
yeah. It does prevent frizz because with this baby hair cutting, what you do, yeah, with this pro comb, you cut down the baby hair, and also on this side, you directly cut and seal. That's why it prevents frizz. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Hmm.
Hmm. Does anybody else have any questions? You guys have any specific questions on anything right now? Anything you want to learn? Why we have Sebastian and Peter still on the phone?
The specifically the texturizers, the
Yep.
Tondeo and Jaguar, I would
Hmm.
really like to be informed on those.
Yeah. So basically, we do have a pretty wide range of texturizers. Yeah, we do have thinners with one side thinners, classic thinning scissors. With wider teeth, with smaller teeth, with more teeth, with less teeth, depending on how much hair you want to take out. We do have double thinners, um, which are mainly used for perfect fades in barbering. And in especially Tondeo, we do have that Textura, the classic texturizer with very wide teeth, wide gaps, and big pockets for the hair to come in.
So can you
So
talk about the tulip technology on the
the
texturizer?
what
The
again,
tulip
please?
technology?
You mean
The way the teeth are shaped.
yeah, I need a second to find it. One moment. The tulip.
Can I
Yeah,
just like
you're
tell you what
you're
it?
faster.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
Audrey can go in there too. So just so everybody can see.
Oh, okay. So the shape of the teeth are what's called the tulip technology. And you'll notice when you do your first cut line, there is no cut line visible. It blends what you've taken out, no matter how much hair it is at a time, organically. So you don't have that harsh cut line. It's a really smooth um, transition from the bulky part of the hair to the thinner part that you just took out.
And
Essentially, no cut line.
those would be good with barbering and hairstylists as well.
They're great for scissor over comb cutting, fading, because they remove about 80%. They're not going to be in your detail work, but if you have somebody with really thick hair, instead of going in with a thinner tooth texturizer, you can get what you need out in one snip rather than having to keep going in. But they're great for scissor over comb fading.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I
Okay.
love
Okay.
them too I do extensions and sometimes I have to cut my extensions into like a bob for my client.
Mm-hmm.
And I really love them for taking out bulk from the bottom of the extension.
To clarify, it's 80% removal.
Yes.
Yes.
Did I not say that?
No, you did. And I was like,
Oh.
my brain.
Well, yeah, it's a lot. But like she was saying, when you have a bob cut, you can take them in and you can either do the whole bob cut start to finish with them, and they're going to give you a straight line. But what's nice is they give you that little bit of texture, almost like you used a razor to cut your bob. So it's not
Mm-hmm.
this thick, bulky bob. It's still a really crisp, no layer bob, but it's got just that perfect amount of texture on the ends.
You can also use those for point cutting, and it does remove a lot of weight without creating too much separation. Like if you use it horizontally, you'll see the separation, but if you point, it actually blends really well and it cuts down cutting time by like 50%. That's how I've been using them for like crop tops and like textured cuts.
Mm-hmm.
And how many teeth is it?
This one is the Textura, which is 15 teeth. But we have that have 15, that have 30, that have 42, that have 50. So it just depends on which texturizer that you're talking about. But they all have, in the Tondeo line, they all have, see how that looks like a tulip? Wait, let me spotlight myself. All right. See how that, we call it the tulip technology? Oh, hey, how it does that. See how they look like little tulips?
Mm-hmm.
So this is the texture. So all of them have this little technology. So this, it kind of picks the hair up and drops the next hair next to it because of this little blade that's up right there too, giving you that perfect cut. So, and we can do a whole other segment and go through every single one of the tools and how you would use them. I'd probably have Lisi and Audrey like bang something out like that because Lisi's one who I literally like, she's only used the Gara because we had a class and I was like, hey, I just got this one here, try it. And I just put it in her hand and she's like, oh my gosh, so she's good like that. But yeah, anybody else have any questions?
Only if you have one on hand. I'm interested just to get a visual of the double texturizer because I have never even heard of that.
Yeah, give me a sec.
Thank you.
Here we go.
Yeah, I think mine are out on loan.
Wow, that's so rad. Okay. Thank
That's like the perfect. I've seen the barbers who, yeah, there are a few of them who don't like working with machines. They do perfect fade cuts with that double thinner.
There's a texturizer, the Inspiration, and now normally the teeth are on like the front side and the blade's normally on the back side, and it's inverted. Is there a particular reason you would invert a texturizer?
Design.
Just design.
Design. Yeah.
There's no benefit for it, really. Okay.
It's just a design matter.
Okay.
So
I have one little question.
Go for it.
What is the purpose of the concave design?
Oh, that's easy. I'm gonna show you. So basically, it gives stability. Yeah, that's basically how when you have a flat blade. Yeah, it's not very stable. Concave con blade design gives you a way higher stability. Wait, I'm gonna show you. Yeah, I can press here with my finger. If I have a convex blade, it gives you much more stability. Yeah, when I compare this shape, which is basically convex, to a flat one, which, yeah, you can see it here. So it's a question of stability and a question of staying precise and sharp longer.
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome. So I'm pretty sure that I just had a few minutes to run through the topics. I'm not sure, Tracy, there will probably be people being interested in going more into detail, maybe having 2 or 3 hours really education on the scissors, hands-on trying, whatever. So when I will come over to the US in the beginning of March, maybe you can gather those who want to have a further education on the shears, and we do a meeting and I'll head over.
Yeah. Yeah, we have Sebastian is coming over in March. We have a couple of different appointments with distributors and some people who want to do some customized shears or razors with us. So that's also an option too. And if anybody wants to set a meeting, please just email me. And we can see we can do an education meeting together. And I know there's a few different other distributors and salon chains on here too. So just reach out to me and we'll plan it from there. And we'll see what we can get all in action for when Sebastian's here in March to run through a bunch of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would be cool to see some of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, some people interested in purchasing them, and of course, all our ambassadors, regardless if lady cut, if men's cut. So everybody who's using our shears, please come up.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, everyone, for coming today. I appreciate you taking the time to join us this morning.
So do we.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much,
guys.
and so informative.
Thanks.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
all the information. Thank you guys. Have a great week.
More than welcome. Same for you.
Yes.
Bye, guys.